Jillian Bonner, and you're watching Sex and Rock and Roll, and I'm here with the infamous Jerry Cantrell.
I like that.
Yeah, right? That's a good one.
That's good.
So, I'm going to ask you some questions.
All right.
First of all, you're out on your own solo, and how's that going?
It's going really well. It's been a real difficult year. You know, Lane passed away in April, and you know, that's something I've been still dealing with, letting that go and moving on from the band. And I kind of already started that process in '98, so you know, my record came out and we started touring right when that happened. So I've pretty much been on the road since, and you know, I mean, I think it's probably the best thing in the world that I had something to do, you know, instead of sitting around and mulling over. So
keep you busy.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Right.
Things have been going real well.
They're very busy,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think that there'll always be a comparison, and do you yourself always compare your new music to Alice in Chains music?
Actually, I don't. I'm not trying to move away from anything. I mean, that's where I come from, and I'm very proud of what we did with Alice, and you know, we had some great times, and you know, stuff that just ain't never going to happen again. You know what I mean? And I'm very, very happy to have had that history and stuff. But you know, I mean, also, I'm not trying to be anybody else either. So you know, the music that I write isn't too dissimilar from what we did with Alice. But of course, it's a different situation, and playing with different people is always going to be the difference. You know, so you know. I'm having a good time with it, and you know, I think people are digging it. And,
totally. I was going to say, I'm a huge fan of both, you know, your music and Alice in Chains music.
Thank you.
So you're doing the right thing.
Thanks. Thanks.
Are you comfortable being up front, as you know, and like the whole front man image as opposed to?
It's a lot more work, you know, and but it's cool. It's a challenge, you know, and it's always nice to be able to step up in life and do something maybe that you hadn't maybe thought about doing before, and doing something that you're maybe not quite comfortable with. I think that's when you feel like you're uncomfortable in life and whatever you're doing, I feel that you're growing, you know what I mean? So once you feel like you're comfortable, you're probably sitting on your ass, you know what I mean? And that's maybe not the best thing to do, you know? So I mean, the situation is definitely strange and unexpected, but I'm having a good time with it, and I feel comfortable doing it, and it's just getting better the more time goes on, you know. Yeah,
it's got to be kind of a rush to be at the head of the band. I mean, I think, you know, a big ego trip, really.
Well, it's kind of funny because, you know, most musicians, we always joke about the singer. The singer's, he's the guy that plays with the band, you know, so
yeah.
So now I'm that guy and the musician, you know, so it's like I'm kind of riding the fence, and so it's definitely curious place to be.
But at least you've got the substance to be, you know, taken seriously as
right.
you know, the musician and everything else.
Well, I still got a guitar to hide behind.
That's
so.
right. That's right. So your first solo effort, Boggy Depot, was a little bit of it was a little bit different than you know, the traditional Alice in Chains sound. This new record, Degredation Trip, is more similar. How are people responding to it?
It's been going over really well, and actually we did a lot of shows before I even got it signed with Roadrunner, and you know, I mean, it's great stuff to play live, and people respond to it even though they hadn't known it. And now that they're getting the time to actually get into it, you know, the response has been great. And of course, you know, when we play the Alice stuff, you know, people really flip out on that stuff, and, and I enjoy playing it. You know, we hadn't got to play it for a long time, so. So
we heard that Degradation Trip was going to be a double album,
right? But
it's only one record, so can we expect Volume 2?
Volume 2 is going to be Volume 1 and 2 together, as I intended it, are going to be released, I believe, November 19th.
Oh, wow.
And the reason that it came out as a single was pretty much Roadrunner's call, and they wanted to condense it down to one disc, and that was definitely not what I wanted to do. But but it was a compromise I made going to a new label, and as long as I had their word that they were going to put it out at some point, not too far off in the future, as a complete body of work. So, and they definitely kept their word, and I'm happy about that.
That's good. Yeah. It's good when people keep their word. And do I personally get the first pre-release copy of Volume 2?
Sure, you got it.
I've got that on tape.
Yeah.
So you guys know, okay.
Sure.
So Alice in Chains was credited with sort of a whole genre almost of rock music, and today you see all these fans emulating, copying, even downright ripping you guys off. Even some of the graphics on the album art is like, wait a minute.
Band names.
Right? So, how does that make you feel?
It's a little strange, but I mean, you know, I think what that says is that we actually made an impact, and that's cool, because that's what we meant to do. That's what we set out to do, and maybe with us not being there, then, you know, maybe the need was felt that somebody needed to try to fill that void or something.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was in Virgin Records one day buying, I'll keep the band unnamed, but one of their CDs, and the record sales guy goes, "I like Alice in Chains better," and I was like, "Well, yeah, so do I," but you know, he's like, "Yeah, I know." It was funny. What can we expect from you after you're done touring behind Degredation Trip?
I'll probably make another record.
Yeah?
We're trying to, you know, we've been touring since March pretty much, so that's about 8 months.
Wow.
You know, and we got another. We'll end up this year of touring right in the middle of November, and then hopefully kick it up again in January. We just got back from the UK and had an amazing tour over there.
Oh, really?
And we're going to try to get back to Europe and do it a little bit more extensively in the new year. So. You know.
Great. So just to change up a little bit, you know, this is for sex and rock and roll.
Yeah, let's get into the sex. Come on.
Yeah, baby. Well, what's your favorite position? No.
My favorite position?
That's kind of a joke, actually, but
okay.
you can elaborate if you like.
I don't really have a favorite position. I just like spontaneity. I like partners who are confident in themselves and adventurous, and you know, I hate playing the game. It's the constant situation that I'm always faced with anytime I meet somebody is like, you know, well, you can have anybody you want, and I don't normally do this, and blah blah blah. They've got to totally go through all this list of shit, and it's like, just experience the moment and have a good time. You know, I don't need this bullshit, and neither do you.
That's exactly right.
Cut through the shit. You know, we're both here. We're both happening with each other. Let's just roll. You know,
and be real, yeah.
And take it. You know. I don't have a whole lot of patience for that, and especially the older I get, it's like, okay, we're going to play a game, and you'll go play a game with somebody else. You know, I don't have time to mess around anymore. What's
your idea of a perfect woman?
Well, I think that I don't go out searching for it. You know, I mean, when you're younger, you're definitely a lot more hungry for it, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally cool. I dig that too. But I think waiting for the moment to happen and waiting for something to happen is a little bit better, and I think that it's a lot more fulfilling in the end. You know, and you find actually that you probably stay in contact with that person, and maybe it's something that, you know, maybe that's something that turns into a relationship. Maybe it's something that's just a, you know, fun thing every once in a while.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay, so if we're dedicated, sex and rock and roll is dedicated to the rock and roll lifestyle, whatever that is, because it can mean, you know, any number of things, obviously. What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me?
Yeah.
The rock and roll lifestyle. Well, you know, I've certainly had some amazing adventures in this business, and you know, I mean, it definitely has an attraction. I mean, I like being able to see the world, and I like to be able to, you know, meet people that I never would probably meet, and you know, some of the crazy situations that you get into, you know, sexually, partying, whatever, something that's interesting to me, and that's certainly something I always wanted to experience when I was a kid, and now I'm doing it, and it's cool, you know. I think the key to any part of it is trying to find some sort of a balance, you know what I mean? Because you can definitely take it too far, you know.
No doubt.
Definitely had friends that are not here from taking it too far, and you know, I've been in that situation myself, and it's just trying to achieve a balance, I guess, and being okay with what's going on, and try not to take it too far, you know. Stick around a while, you know.
That's exactly right. It's probably the most important thing.
Stick around a while.
Have a good time, but stick around and do it.
That's right.
Thanks, everybody, for watching Sex and Rock and Roll. I'm Jillian Bonner, and this is Jerry Cantrell. You rock, and so do we.
That's good.
That's good.